So hi guys, and welcome back to another StarCraft PH session here. We are going to be starting things off on Automaton LE. Already looking like such a big map, and you guys are in for a treat. We are going to have eXoSpecs here versus eXoXtinc. Again, going to be a rematch of a previous show match, which I'm pretty excited to actually check on out. So here for the side of the Red Protoss, we will be introducing eXoSpecs. On the other hand, here for the yellows are going to be all mech'd up, and we'll see eXoXtinc's ready to go into the fray. Again, we see these really cute probes. They are the StarCraft 1 version, and I really enjoy seeing their older design. I don't know, I like the vintage look. On the other hand, Overlord here, all mech'd up, ready to go. Just gonna have these new sensors improved and try to install himself onto a scouting position somewhere near the opposing base. eXoSpecs though, knowing that he is going to be facing off against the Zerg, building a little more forward, going to be walling off this second to already set up his initial defense. When you are facing off against Zerg in a early Protoss matchup, you always want to have this wall ready to go, keep your Zealot or keep your Adept in waiting, just keeping them in position to allow a funnel of your exit, but at the same time not allow the Zerglings to penetrate and kill those probes. Now the second base here being built up by eXoSpecs already, and he is gonna be in position to warp up a unit or two into the next one. Not supply block as of yet, and you can see the timing here. He has 21 supply, can build a unit at any time of his choosing. He's gonna go for the Cyber Core just in case. And now with the probe line being built up, he should be building up that second assimilator and into the next pylon. This is just check if the opponent is gonna go for something really early based, something like a whatever the six pool coefficient here of in Legacy of the Void. But eXoXtinc on the other hand, just teching up, we decide to go for a few zealots, looking to build up some queens as well, scouting around the base, and we have one of the probes cheekily taking a few minerals away from the Zerg. Looking at the gas though, eXoXtinc now has enough to go for that metabolic boost. Queens gonna be ready to get that creep tumors on and maybe some spawn larva along the way. But here comes the Chrono Boost onto the Adept. Very good against Zerglings, very good against light units, and can go for some initial pokes if eXoSpecs doesn't get attacked. So with this opening here, eXoXtinc is actually opening himself up for early aggression because he's not really gonna be as aggressive as he could. These Zerglings are quite slow without metabolic boost, trying to chase down this probe, but they are having a tough time at it. So yeah, there you go, first bite there. And in the meantime, eXoSpecs just able to take up, get a few more adepts going his way. As is tradition, we are gonna see Warp Gate now being built here on the Cybernetics core, and it's gonna be a 2-base versus a 3-base here between the two squads. But so far, eXoSpecs with a slight advantage in terms of the gas, pretty even in terms of the minerals as well. And this is gonna be a gas-intensive Protoss army, which will be probably using something like a Robo Facility into the next one. No, never mind. He's actually gonna go for the really cheeky Dark Shrine. Good catch here. Good positioning as well to just maybe hide it. But now eXoXtinc is looking around. This Overlord might be able to scout that out. Completely unaware, however, is going to be the Zerg. Metabolic boost now being teched up, as well as we are going to get Blink for some Stalkers, allowing them to be more mobile on this map, especially as there's a lot of high ground. The Stalker now going for some shots onto that Overlord, trying to get a takedown. And will it actually make it? Will it actually make it? This is gonna be tough here. If eXoXtinc sees the Dark Shrine, no, he doesn't. It's not gonna work out. Unfortunate. As we hear D.Va for some reason. But anyway, let's see now the Queens stepping up the creep tumors there. Apparently, if you're in the perspective of the person, you can actually hear their announcer for some reason. But yeah, Dark Shrine now gonna be ready and willing to go. We have a number of gateways as well to allow eXoSpecs to hide his cheeky plan. Warp Gate's now gonna be transformed up, and I'm interested to see what he's gonna do in the front line. I feel like here in the front, it's gonna be heavy in terms of the Adepts and the Stalkers. And no, the Dark Templar are coming. Here we go, Robo Facility now behind this. So this is gonna be a timing attack here for eXoSpecs to maybe go for a poke or two before anything else happens in terms of tech. because he knows that with the fact that eXoXtinc has not attacked yet by the 5-minute mark, he knows he can be on the aggression instead because he's playing quite greedily. And here comes... Oh, there's a Spore Crawler already in position. This might be pretty good here for the side of eXoXtinc because he is ready. I think eXoXtinc was thinking that, oh, that might be some air units here. Maybe a quick Oracle or two, but no, never mind. The Dark Templar are gonna try to just cleave it out, and unfortunately for them, the Spore Crawlers are more or less rooted in one position unless he uproots them, so it has to be a lot of movement. Now the Zerglings are just dying one by one. The Dark Templar don't want to overextend. We are gonna get some blink production for not only the Stalkers, but also for the DT, so that's really, really interesting. Not really an upgrade I see often. The Roaches though being chased after, and here comes the Queen to maybe go for the transfusion. They get the poke now. One of the Dark Templars really low has to back on out. They are gonna decide to just roam around and see what they can pick off. If I were Extinct, I'd be cocooning one of those Overlords into an Overseer, and just on point, there you go, one of them being built. On the other hand, here back in the base of eXoSpecs, he has these pylons to maybe check out potential Nidus network spaces. We are gonna see the Immortals now being built, and eventually maybe a Warp Prism into the backline. Apparently there is a spectator though, and he is gonna be amazed by the fact that Dark Templar have this new blink ability, a lot in the campaign, a lot in co-op. So Dark Templar is able to blink on loud just like Zeratul does. The hatcheries though, it's actually one of those games where nothing really much happens between these two. It looks like it's one of those situations where both of them friends. It's gonna be no real rushes here. Just going for some pokes with the Dark Templar. We have some Spore Crawlers in position. And now, the Zerglings finally have Metabolic Boost. So they can roam around. No real upgrades for either side as of yet, besides all those random tech. But I like this from eXoXtinc. He is building up a lot of Overseers to just deal with the Dark Templar, because with the fact that the Dark Shrine is ready to go, that's all the tech invested for the Protoss so far in terms of deep into the tech tree. He is going for those surface level Immortals, which is a very good composition. Here we go again with the mech based army. We're gonna be the Sentry, the Stalker, and the Immortal quadriplegic as much as possible. Now, third base being built up here by the Protoss army. He is supply bucket and get a number of pylons and go for an immediate warp cycle there. Very, very quick to eat up all that side. On the other hand, eXoXtinc now just roaming around again, maybe looking for an opportunity or two. They spot out the DT. Good blink though to get all out, but this might be too late. One of the DPs lagging behind. There's the surround, and there's the takedown. Now, without the Dark Templar in the base, this is eXoXtinc's chance to actually go on the offensive. But we already see eXoSpecs in position in terms of the defense. Look at this. All the units in the backline. Here comes the Zerg, though, to try and go for the poke. The Roaches look quite menacing. And you can see they do have... oh, it actually doesn't tell you what upgrades they have, unfortunately. But just judging by the models right now, we do have Metabolic Boost. We are gonna get a Roach upgrades in terms of speed, I believe, and +1 on the attack. On the other hand, we are getting charged here for the Protoss army. And here come the shield batteries. The warp cycle is there for some Zealots to tank it up. And unfortunately for the Immortals, they are just behind the warp gate, so it's not gonna work out. The sentries are funneled. Good force fields though. Just get the surround now, and eXoXtinc has to make a decision, because here come the Immortals, very, very strong against these Roaches. Good blink microplay coming on out from eXoSpecs, and this is the Zerg caught, and it has to get back on out. So unfortunately for eXoXtinc there, that was just a lot of force field tossed out by the sentries, and eXoSpecs now knows this is the opportunity to strike. 9 minutes into this game, and this might be all over already. If eXoSpecs gets a good attack, it will work out in his favor. eXoXtinc though has a lot of minerals in the bank, can go for a number of Brooding Cycles if he has the larva to do so. In the meantime though, we are gonna get some Overlord upgrades there, and here comes the surround. The Roaches out in front. Force fields to try and defend this, and let's see if this hatchery can actually be built up. No, never mind, gonna get cancelled up, as well as the Spore Crawler there. Everyone has to back on out, in the Protoss now just stomping on the grounds of the Zerg army. What's interesting to note here for eXoXtinc is he's going Mutalist after this, and that's gonna be a good surround. Force fields don't protect him. The Zerglings now trying to chew past everything, but it's just not gonna work out in either team's favor. It is more or less a standstill. eXoXtinc good for him, able to defend as well, but not really gonna get any huge gains from this one, because this is gonna be the quadriplegic army still in position. We have Mutalisks now in the fray. Unfortunately for them, the Stalkers are in position to take them down one by one. Instead, the Immortals are the targets, and that's gonna be a lot of losses here for eXoSpecs. This has to be a retreat, but behind this is a number of production with the robo facilities. They still have the Immortals ready to go. Now we even have a Colossus, interesting enough, here for eXoSpecs, which in the scheme of things, not really the best one, because he has to deal with the Mutalisks instead. Maybe, just maybe, something more anti-air focused, maybe even more Stalkers would be a lot better than that. With the Colossus, of course, can just burn up those Zerglings, protect the Immortals as much as possible. There's the focus fire now onto the Giraffe, and we do see the Mutalisks backing on out. I think the note is we are going to get +2 now for the Evo Chamber, and we are finally getting +1 on the Flyers. More Mutalisks though being built here by the side of the Zerg, and what eXoSpecs now is doing is he is gonna be on the defensive. He has the shield batteries in position to just keep his lines in a good spot. Shield batteries and photon cannons here as well to protect his main, to protect his expansion. And I like this anti-Mutalisk strategy. But right now, what worries me is just the fact that the pylon, not really in the best spot, can get taken down here by the Mutalisk, even if it's just like a quad of them. But now the Mutalisk is going to be flown into the Giraffe again. The Colossus trying to back on out, and there's the takedown. One assassination, but that's a number of Mutalisks tossed into the fray like that. So maybe another even trade here between eXoSpecs and eXoXtinc. On the other hand, the Protoss now looking to go for the siege again. Here come the Stalkers on the glow ground. They want to get the space here on the bottom right first, not knowing there's another base there already being built. So a lot of map control here for the Zerg. Here comes the Zerglings now to try and go for this round. Will it be enough? One of the Stalkers caught on beneath to the other side, and the Queen instead is gonna die. But here comes the Zealots again, and there's this round now, and there's a takedown onto 2. Can the Zergling get some few more chews? Here comes the attack now, and in the backline, we have some Ravagers doing the damage that needs to be done, tossing out the Corrosive Vial into the air, and that's a good surround there. eXoXtinc taking that fight. So out of nowhere, having these Ravagers, very, very key, and they're pretty tanky as well to just be able to be in the front. They're very, very big units to actually focus down on. It's a really big target to actually deal with. But behind this, eXoSpecs now building more Colossi. He wants to have a zoo of these really, really tall units, and he is going to get some Thermal Lance upgrades as well. On the other hand, we will see the Infestation Pit here for the side of the Zerg, which means he is going to be going into Hive Tech really soon. Maybe some Broodlords, Corruptors, maybe some Vipers, or maybe just go all in with the +3s. Now eXoXtinc wants to play aggressively again. He wants to go on the attack as much as possible. And here come the Zerglings trying to shoot to the wall. And the wall isn't actually protected. It's completely breached. Unfortunately now for this base, we will see the production ground to a halt. Where is the Protoss army? There they are, just chewing down all the stragglers, trying to just burn them up. But this is now the robo facilities not in production. The cannons fall as well. And this will be eXoXtinc penetrating into the resource line. The Mutalisks now flying into the fight and just taking care of the probes one by one. They are gonna fall by 2s, but the shield batteries are there to protect them, and this has to be a retreat here for eXoXtinc. So eXoSpecs thinking about any kind of Mutalisk play, especially if they're not upgraded like that. The shield battery doing its magic, and he only lost 2 probes in this one. But unfortunately for him, he needed to protect this a lot more, and with the wall not sealed there, it was just an easy funnel for the Zerglings to come on in. But all in all, this is gonna be a quite a reset between these two squads. We will see a Archon right now here for eXoSpecs, as he had built up the Templar Archive in 2s. That's a strange decision, to say the least. But yeah, so 2 Templar Archives, no pylon still on the robo, only 1 forge. This might be eXoSpecs actually struggling in terms of the macro play into the later fight. On the other hand, eXoXtinc is already 200, gonna be building up some Corruptors to maybe 30 some Broods, or just deal with these Colossi without any regard for anything else. Corruptors, of course, can also go for the debuff a la Discord Orb. It is going to be amplifying the damage that can be done. So let's see right now if eXoSpecs can actually do any damage in this one. Because here comes eXoXtinc. He is in position to try and intercept this. The Zerglings now congregating with the Ravagers and the Roaches. And here come the Corruptors. They look quite scary and they are looking for a target. They are focusing down onto the Colossi. Archon's trying to do the splash damage, but the Colossi has to just try and run away. They are going in a circle, and that's just so many Corruptors tossed into the fray, just burnt up right now. And here comes the siege. It's an overwhelming Zerg force, yes, but eXoSpecs does have the force fields and the position to try and defend this one. The Colossus all the way in the back to just do the damage that needs to be done, burning up all those ground units. The Mutalist trying to fly into the fight, but the Archon is there to just burn that up. One of the Archons fall, however, the other one stuck in the middle. And here come the Ravagers now with the surround. Corruptors in the backline as well, and things look good here for eXoXtinc because he is in position to take down this army. The Colossus falls, the Immortal left behind, the Stalkers have to blink away, and that should be that one. eXoSpecs talking tail and running. One of the Archons caught on that, and that is the last Archon falling. A perfect initiation there from eXoXtinc. eXoSpecs now forced to back on that. We will see the Templar Archives build up the Psionic Storm, and Love Probe's now not really doing anything. And this might be a little tough here for eXoSpecs. He does have a lot of income coming his way, but he needs more warp cycles than this. He needs more gateways doing production, and he needs these robo facilities to get those Immortals out as soon as possible. Gonna be the emergency level Zealots. The Stalkers though blinking out to try and get away from the Zerglings, but the Zealots now in position to go for the charge, and here comes the damage. Immortals are there. Warp Prism is even there, so might be enough. The Corruptors though gonna turn around and take this one down. Will it be enough? Will it be worth it? No, he loses two along the way, so the Stalkers paying for themselves in dividends. So this has been a complete tug of war between these two clanmates. eXoSpecs just winning out the defense again, but honestly failing on the attack when he gets surrounded. On the other hand, eXoXtinc having the advantage in terms of the economy, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases up and running, and is looking to maybe go for the 6th. Interesting debris here, honestly. Like, what is this debris? Can you break the debris here and actually mine this up, or do you have to put the hatchery here? Because if you can put the hatchery here, you can actually just go for the minerals themselves if you don't want to go for the gas. I'm just interested to see what this is for, or maybe just maybe it allows you to go for some pokes on the backside. But yeah, Automaton LE. I haven't actually seen this map ever, so I'm actually very interested to see how you actually play this map specifically. The High Templars though caught on the backside, and unfortunately for them, they don't even have Scythe-Orb. They're all gonna die to the Zerglings. Very cost efficient for the amount of gas you invest on those HTs. But now Zealot's gonna be cost efficient as well. All minerals there, just gonna go for some cleaves against the Zerglings, and that should be a clean up there for eXoSpecs. But again, that was such a big hit because he doesn't have too much gas now to work with. He only has enough gas for around 4 High Templars in the next second. There you go. And that was just 4 High Templars wasted. That's like 600 gas right there. Maybe even 750 if there was a 5th. But anyway, even without those High Templar, eXoSpecs deciding to go on the attack again. Both players now running out of minerals. On the other hand, look at this. eXoXtinc has a lot of gas ready to go. Broodlords instead morphed up, and the Zealots already just running away. They know they can't fight this. They know they can't deal with this. The Stalkers are way too few, and this is gonna be a fight that eXoXtinc can push. So now with push comes the shove. The Protoss army segregating into to try and maybe get a takedown or two. But still, the Broodlords now just floating around again. These Broodlords are such a huge hamper in any kind of strategy the Protoss has. In the meantime, we do see +2 in terms of attack, and we are gonna get a +3 here for eXoSpecs. But unfortunately for him, it's gonna be a lot more well-rounded in terms of the other units. We see some +3 coming up for the rage units. I already see some Caraplace +3 for the ground units as well. There were flyer upgrades here for eXoXtinc, and really the macro game going the way of the Zerg in this one. I feel like he still hasn't noticed, or he just doesn't want to realize that he built up a next Templar Archive instead of a second Forge. He's looking at position. This might be just be for double pumping upgrades. Now he is running out of minerals. Both players actually have no real minerals to work with. They are just spending it all on the army right now. The Roach scouting army though gonna get caught by the bulk of the Protoss Armada, and this is gonna be the Roaches tucking tail and running just like any kind of cockroach you see back at home. But with the speed of this game, it has really ground to a halt. Both squads are not really comfortable to go on the attack to one another. Both players right now are just waiting for an opportunity, and eXoSpecs is the one who's playing a little more aggressively compared to his clanmate. Another Nexus now being built, so that's gonna be just only 4 bases here ready to go for eXoSpecs. One of the Overlords now caught on out, and here come the Protoss. They want to go for the attack, but the Corruptors and the Broodlords are already in position, and here come the Broodlings out to do the damage that needs to be done. The Zealots have to back on out. Psystorm tossed out by one of the HTs. There's a second one, but it's not doing enough damage. But here comes the Blink forward. Looks like eXoSpecs has had enough of the Broodlords, want to do the damage, but the Roaches are in position, and that is a fatal mistake here for eXoSpecs. He didn't take care of the Roaches first. The Acid chewing through the Stalkers right now, and the Protoss has to back on out. That's just way too aggressive there, way too ambitious for eXoSpecs, and eXoXtinc was ready for it. Looks like the Acid there just doing its magic, cleaning everything. When you need something corroded, who you gonna call? You're gonna call those Roaches now to try and defend this one. The High Templar though floating away. He's just gonna be able to slightly see the Zerg Armada, the Zerg force coming at them. Here comes the Zerglings now into the mineral line, and that's pretty smart to do because both players know that they are on their last legs in terms of resources. Here comes a pretty petty warp cycle here from eXoSpecs, but this might be it because the Broodlords are ready to get the damage that needs to be done. The Stalkers now playing aggressively, and actually out of nowhere, eXoSpecs able to pick down all those Broodlords. So for now, eXoXtinc will be fended off again, but I feel like eXoSpecs is just running out of rope in this one because he has lost a lot of probes. He only has 300 right now in the bank. eXoXtinc now has a lot of bases to work with. Look, he is gonna be able to just stall this out and get more units along the way. But anyway, we still see eXoSpecs now trying to go for the attack, but this might just be it. This might be the nail in the coffin right now. We see a Tempest now built up by eXoSpecs, but it's not really upgraded. It's not really something that they were preparing for. The Stargate in a Fleet Beacon, not really doing too much right now. The Tempest still going for some pokes, but get poked down instead by the Hydralisks. A good amount of tech here for eXoXtinc, and he's just moving on with this lead. It's going great here for the Zerg. Just after these pokes, it really goes to show the macro game strong here for the Zerg army. But anyway, eXoSpecs now just has to back on out, just watching this cute little orb here. The Tempest keeping the lightning, keeping the storm in their hands. High Templars now gonna be merged up into Archons here. And looking at the upgrades, we see a +1 in terms of air attack, +1 in armor, +3 in ground for the Protoss, and that is just way too little compared to what eXoXtinc has. And eXoXtinc even has more minerals going his way, so he can not only build the army faster, but he can also have stronger units along the way. We now have a Viper though, and they're just sucking the life out of these extractors, trying to get enough energy for Parasitic Bomb, for the abduction, or maybe even just a Cloud to hamper the ground game. In the meantime, we do see an Ultralisk Cavern, and I'm not seeing any Ultralisk though, but I will want to see one sooner or later. Evo Chamber now just upgrading a... what is this? This is melee, right? This is Zerg melee right there to make the Zerglings a little stronger. The Vipers now trying to max us out in terms of energy, and this is quite greedy here for eXoXtinc. He does know he does have the advantage, and now he's taking his sweet time, getting as much energy that needs to be gotten. Interesting though that some of the Vipers that are already full are still eating, so yeah, you shouldn't be as gluttonous as you can be. eXoSpecs forced to wait this out, wait out the oncoming storm that is gonna be the Zerg army. It might be a torrential tide that he can't handle, however, and we have a cannon now, but this might just be the cannon of surrender because it really looks bad here for the Protoss. eXoXtinc close to maxing out. We are in a position that they are just both in a standstill again. He is using the minerals now to build up some more crawlers to just try and defend his base a little more, but beyond this, it has been eXoXtinc chilling out. Interesting to note though that eXoXtinc has not actually went for any Dark Templar after that one. He could have actually put them as the bulk unit. If they got kills on the Overseers first, he can actually just clean up maybe the Zerglings and even the Roaches with just all the damage the Psyblades do in the first place. eXoSpecs now deciding enough is enough. He wants to go on the attack. eXoXtinc now gonna meet him in pitch combat. He has the high ground, Anakin. Will it be enough? The Vipers are in position, but the Broodlord is the one getting poked down here. The Tempest is in position, and here comes the damage. Here come the orbs. Oh, huge up there to get one, to get two. Psystorm now coming on in. The Hydralisk has to back on out, and that adapt was so good. The tongue just reaching to the heavens, and eXoSpecs wants to do the same exact thing. The Viper now gonna just pull him in and get the takedown. How does that even happen? How does a capital ship like that get taken down like that? But still comes Psystorm. The damage is being done here onto the Hydralisk. Both teams right now are just so strong in what they do. The Psystorms making it happen. The Abducts getting the kills on the Tempest. But here we go again with the macro game, and with eXoSpecs behind like this, it's eXoXtinc who always wins out in a 1-for-1 situation. eXoSpecs now has less minerals to work with coming his way. He also has less supply compared to eXoXtinc. eXoXtinc right now just wants to get to that 200 and go for that last push. This is his opportunity, and he knows he can split up his army to maybe go for some pokes and just go for the bulk. We have some Stalkers right now coming on in, and the good thing about these Stalkers is they can try to blink away, but unfortunately for them, they're not going to go to the high ground. Instead, here we go with one of the Dark Templars just trying his best, but his best isn't going to be good enough because the Zerglings are just running away from it. Now the Stalkers looking to go into the base, and here comes a warp cycle of some more Stalkers and a few Zealots as well. The Zealots gonna be very good in tanking up in the front line, and the Zerglings have to back on out. In the meantime, we have a few Zealots here just getting poked down by the Broodlords, and here comes the A move to victory. You can see the army now congregating. eXoXtinc wants to end it in this one, and will this be the nail in the coffin here for eXoSpecs? The Vipers now ready to go, gonna try to use their abilities as much as possible. The Psystorms though are absolutely huge here from eXoSpecs. Will it be enough? Will the damage be insurmountable here for the Zerg? No! eXoSpecs losing absolutely everything, even with those heroic High Templars trying their best. It's just not gonna work out, and he's gonna lose one of his vital bases here in terms of mineral count. This might be the beginning of the end, as we see a few more Stalkers now just running into their demise. The supply count now coming to a double mark. The Broodlords just tossing out a few Broodlings to try and scout it out. We have some Voiders now in position, but what can the Voiders do in the face of all of this? Abduct comes on out, and the Voider is in the thick of things. Getting damage needs to be done. Interesting concentration fire here from eXoXtinc, but honestly, this is the Zerg who's gonna run away with this. The Hydralisk doesn't even need to really bother, because the Zergling can just run away from the ships. The Broodlords now just chewing up the production, and it's just gonna be game over here, honestly. eXoXtinc making it happen. The Zergs just keeping on the pressure and just keeping on with the KKK, keeping on with this, just trying to chew through everything. And what goes to show is, apparently, who needs technology, who needs psionic energy when you have big scary teeth and very pointy spines? That is the lesson for this one, as the Zerglings right now spot out the last space with a good number of probes. We see the recall here from eXoXtinc, very cheeky. They are gonna go into the main base right now, but this is gonna be it. There is no way for the Protoss to actually get enough army to face off against eXoXtinc. You can see here in the minerals right now, 139, and it actually has gone to the 0 mark because he's not getting anything at all. These last few Archons now just marching on out. No long distance mining, just idle probes, knowing that they can't really do anything right now. And eXoSpecs had a good run. I love the Dark Templar play there. I love seeing all these random tech units, but just eXoXtinc able to just macro his way to victory. It has been trades left, right, and center, but the trades go in favor of whoever has the more bigger economy. You can see that in real life, first world versus third world, that kind of thing. And eXoSpecs calls the GG. Very well played to both, and that's eXoXtinc's taking that one. So, very good game right there. Already went with the epilogue by the end, because you can see by that part that it was just the beginning of the end for eXoSpecs. It has been a slippery slope downhill, but the moment he actually went for that aggressive blink forward, that was honestly his final sonata, to say the least, because you can see eXoXtinc just able to take control of the whole lower part, just keeping the minerals flowing. On the other hand, eXoSpecs struggling to even defend his bases, and he wasn't able to macro out in time. So, just some good plays all around. Both players can actually come away with this one knowing something, learning something better from each other, and it really goes to show how high the mechanical skill can be in the PH community. So I'll see you guys in the next one. This has been a long but a good match, and I can't wait to see some more replays the community has in store.